I don't know, and I'm glad I never had to find out because I know I would have been thankful because the journey was amazing and the journey is the destination really, right? So I would have been probably bummed and I would have been depressed and it would have sucked because I don't remember a time in my life that I had put everything into something like I did for that. And what's amazing about that though is that if I truly believe this. If I can do that, anybody can, whatever the goal is, right?
Yeah.
And it's pretty simple. I don't want to say it's easy. And actually, I say that all the time. Simple, not easy. Like the blueprint is simple. Executing it is not necessarily easy, but it's not hard. I live a very simple life, man.
It's Golden Hour Adventure Time, featuring everyday people doing extraordinary things. From the peaks of victory to the valleys of defeat, these are their stories. Now, from the back of the pack, your hosts, Justin and Robbie.
Welcome to Golden Hour Adventures. Today we have a great guest. I know nothing about him, so it's going to be great for me because I'm learning the story as we go. This is one of Robbie's friends, so it should be exciting. Sorry if I'm out of breath. I have been running like crazy. Literally, I ran today, Robbie, so this is an exciting thing. I ran with my buddy who's a sub-3 marathoner, a 17-hour 100-miler, and he put me through the paces for about 12 miles. And so I enjoy running with him. I enjoy his company. And Nick, if you're listening to this, bro, we got to slow down a bit because your boy's still kind of hurting a little bit. So
now the real reasons come out why you're hurting.
Yeah, I know. I haven't ran at all, and it throws me down for a 12-miler, and so at my house this morning, it was 1 degree. And so I prepared myself for 1 degree. I got out there and it was like -7. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm prepared for -7. Of course, I forgot my face mask and I don't know. Anyway.
So was his reasoning just run faster?
Yeah, maybe just get it done faster, I guess. I don't know.
You get warmer by running faster?
It's funny because his wife always yells at me like it's my fault that we run fast when we run together. And I'm like, hey, I don't do this. Your husband, he's the one that is fast. You don't catch me running a sub-3 marathon or a 17-mile 100-miler or 17-hour 100-miler. So
that's moving.
So who's at fault here? Hey, I do have a special announcement. I want to brag on myself a little bit right now. Because of Robbie, last year I decided to get sober, and today's my 1-year anniversary.
Dude, that's awesome.
Today's my 1-year anniversary. Yeah. So
I had
bragging
that in
on
my
myself
phone.
a little bit.
Good for you. I thought I saved that in my phone. I feel horrible now.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
That's awesome.
I did that just to remind Robbie so he'd feel bad because I did it Robbie's first year. Congratulated him, but it was on the wrong date, and so now I have it in my phone. But anyway, yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been good, and it's Robbie and I have discussed this a lot on the podcast. Like, I didn't have an addiction to drinking. And so it was just a choice that I decided to make to raise my daughter without alcohol in the house. And so, yeah, so it's been, with the NA beers that are out now, like they're freaking amazing. And I discovered recently that our beer store has a full shelf full of NA beers. And so like, I've been sipping on some like Belgium beers, some German beers. And I'm like, this is a joke. This is going to be easy.
Justin, that's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Thanks,
I'm proud
man.
of you.
Thanks. Well, Robbie, I'll let you introduce our guest, and let's get rocking and rolling.
Alrighty. Congratulations again. I got to tell you that.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
I know how hard it is. Our guest today is Mike Wilkinson. I was thinking, I've been following Mike this year. We met, I don't know when we met, 2013, 14 maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe even before that.
You guys are just old.
Yeah. And the funny thing is we lived right by each other, and I think we might have found each other on Strava, then kind of had a similar friend group. Like we were running the same routes. We still never got out for a run, unfortunately. Maybe we can do that in the future,
you need to come back out to Colorado, man. We'll get you out to Deer Creek.
I'm glad I saw that. That was my training grounds. I saw your run from today. And I was looking through some of the segments that I created. They're still there. I was like,
are you still the owner of some of the routes, or?
There's some fast people out there. That was back when, I had some, but now those people are just smoking some of that stuff. It's yeah. But I looked on the Metal Luck Descent, and I had 93 efforts on that. I was like, dang, I didn't realize I ran that so much. Beautiful place. Is it crowded now?
It is crowded. And I don't know if you know this. I don't even know how long you've been gone, but there was a fire out there. And it was closed down for over a year or whatever. And
No.
then when they opened it up, it was partially open and you couldn't go up to the Red Mesa Loop. So you could do Meadowlark, you could go up Plymouth, and you could go across to Homesteader, but then you couldn't go up to Red Mesa Loop for another few months or whatever before they fully opened it up. It might shed a tear if you got up there because it's a lot of black with the trees burned down and stuff. So
That sucks.
yeah, Red Mesa doesn't look the same as you remembered, I'm sure.
Man, that was my favorite section. It was just all in the
Yeah.
trees and it was a red
Yep.
dirt and nice little loop. It's unfortunate, but it'll be better now
Oh yeah,
in the future.
sure.
All right, enough about that reminiscing. It's gonna bring me to a tear. Mike, you started running. I'm just looking at your ultra sign up. You know, Pikes Peak Marathon in 2001. You've been doing this for a while.
A little bit, yeah. God, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, and I've done I haven't raced the marathon, but I've done Pikes Peak enough times, and that is an ass kicker of a day. How did you get into like mountain running? Because looking through all this, you got into ultras a little longer. But how did you get into? I'm going to say mountain running.
Okay, so yeah, don't announce those times on those Pike Peaks Marathon, by the way, because they're not good. But so I came out to Colorado because I was in the Marine Corps, and I met some at the time older Marines they did Pikes Peak or whatever. So that's at whatever year you said, was that 01 or something like that?
01, 2000.
Yeah, God. So we had a battalion. This is funny because we had a battalion commander's inspection out here. And so I got cornered in front of the battalion commander and said, hey, we're going to run the Pikes Peak Marathon. You're a sub 18 3-miler. You should come run it with us, or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know that. I had no idea what the Pikes Peak Marathon was. I'd never heard of it. And I said, sure, I'll come do it. Right. Like I can run. And I will never forget that day for the rest of my life because I think I was sitting on rocks before I got up to W's. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't really train. I think I went out to start training for it. And I was like, it kind of sucks running in Colorado in this altitude. So instead of having it suck every day, I'll just have it suck the one day. But how little did I know that it was really going to suck. But yeah, so I did that for a few years on there. We actually did the double too, but it was just a kind of a thing that I would do to make myself stay active throughout the year. And so I would be like, okay, I'd train, and I use train in air quotes, but I would train for the Pikes Peak Marathon every year. And I think I've done it like 5 or 6 times, but I wouldn't really say I was a mountain runner. It was just this thing that I would go do and suffer for a day to make myself stay active throughout the summer.
That's a hell of a one to pick.
Right?
That was like the good old days before, the incline was public and you had to sneak
Sure.
on there. There was no one on there besides the
Yeah.
people that dared to sneak on there.
Well, right. I think too, like Pikes Peak's tagline is like America's Ultimate Challenge or something like that. Like I didn't even know Leadville or like ultra running was a thing. I really didn't. Like I thought Pikes Peak Marathon was like the end all be all of trail running.
Little
I
did
was
you
just
know.
like, little did I know. So that was Pandora's box for sure. Once the world was opened up to me of trail running.
I mean, one of my favorite runs is Pikes Peak. I mean, it's just like you said, it's an ass kicker. It's a long day once you get up there. If you can, they still do the donuts. I don't know, but they're horrible fried donuts that
Up at
make you run down a little faster.
Yeah.
So I really, like I was saying, I was following you this year. Known you for a while. I think the last time we were in person, we were trying to figure out was Run Rabbit Run in 17. I think I saw you at the finish line. But this year, man, you've killed it this year, and
Thank you.
it's been fun to watch because you're not getting any younger, and that's one of the big things I want to talk about is
Okay.
your
Sure.
longevity in the sport. I mean, your age right now, and this year you had 2 PRs, I believe, on 200-mile races back to back.
I did. Yep.
So let's take us into the beginning of this year and your thought process and training and where your mind was at. And I know some other stuff I believe has happened in your life, so maybe you can run through that. Maybe that's why this year's a little different than others.
Okay, sure. Yeah, it's kind of weird actually how it started because I just woke up one day in March, didn't like the way I was feeling, and put on some weight or whatever, and my midsection was just like it felt like it was off the side of the bed or what, you know what I mean? Like I just like I had to. So without thinking about it, without any thought, I just woke up and said I'm going low carb again because I had done that previously back in like 18, 19 time frame, and so I knew that it was a way that I could drop some weight. And so on a whim, I just said, yep, I'm going to go low carb. And like I said, that was back in March, and it was a struggle, like the transition. And I knew from the past that it was going to be hard. But I guess I had this like naive thought that, well, I had done it before. My body will remember, and this transition will be easier this time. Right.
Yeah.
And it may have been a little shorter, the time frame, but it wasn't easy. Like I remember going out for runs and running on the East West Trail here out my door, and it's just little rolling hills. And I couldn't run up, like not because my heart rate was getting too high. Like I literally could not run up these just little rolling hills. I wouldn't even, when you talk trail running, it wouldn't even be considered like douche grade. You know what I mean? Like these are just little bumps that
Yeah, little
I would have
rollers.
to walk up. Yep. And so stuck with it. About 4 weeks in, actually before that, I remember I went down to Castle Rock and did the incline down there, and it just like I couldn't even get up it. You know what I mean? Like, after the third one, I was telling the person I was with, I'm like, I'm just going to go run laps around the track over there. Like I can't climb up these stairs. And
And
so
what is that, like a tenth? Is it a tenth of a mile up on that one?
it might
Or is it a
be.
little-
I mean,
Yeah, short.
it's not big. You know what I mean? Like it's called the mini incline for a reason. It's mini, and I just
How long is the
no,
incline? Is the actual incline is what, a mile?
it's a mile, like
Yeah,
just
okay.
under a mile. I want to say it's
Yeah.
like 98
0.9 something.
100ths of a mile.
But it's like
Yeah.
2,000 feet. Is that
2,000.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So this might be 200 feet,
Okay.
and then a tenth of a mile or whatever.
The FKT.
And- but
I don't
it's
mean to
pretty
cut you
steep.
off, but the
Oh.
FKTs on that are incredible.
Oh,
Robbie and I talk about them sometimes, and I'm just like, I am blown away
yeah.
by the FKTs on that. It's just like, man, people just spend their entire time out there the entire year.
Well,
So, yeah.
there's a I don't know if I don't know if that guy's still there. I know the records keeps going up to get, when I was there, the one guy was trying to do it 2 or 3 times a day. Now I think
Oh, it's
the
more
record,
than that.
yeah, I think the guy that's got the record now was like 5 or 6 times a day for a year.
Yeah.
It's
If you
just-
haven't seen it, not to branch off, but you got to watch the video Inclined on YouTube. I think Solomon did it or whatever.
I watched
and
that
it's
with Remy
about that
Bonet.
incline.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, you want to talk about addiction. I mean, that's, sometimes I wonder if that's any more healthy than
Oh,
what we were talking about,
I agree with you there, because do you know Brandon Sapowicz, crowd runner?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I know
When
who
he-
he is. I don't know him.
He was doing the 24 hours on the incline, and I'm like, he was running up and coming down. I'm like, dude, you're crazy. One fall and you're going to roll down that whole damn thing. And he had the record for a while for 24 hours. I think that's been beat too. I'm like,
Wow.
that's beyond what I want to do.
It's insane. So, yeah, I guess so. I went low carb as a means of just kind of tightening it up, if you will, or whatever, and just
Mhm.
starting to feel better about myself. It was nothing to do with racing. I did have the goal, because I was signed up for Leadville, and my goal was to get sub 25, right? But
You already
People say-
signed up.
I was already signed up. So the low carb at the time wasn't anything to do about running. It was just I wanted to drop some weight, and I knew I'd had success doing that way before. Having had the goal of sub 25, I mean, it's easier to say that because I think anybody who ever signs up for Leadville, they always say, I want the big buckle. I did that in 14, which was my first 100, and I was a golden hour finisher. You know what I mean? But I was like, I want the big buckle. Not knowing what I didn't know, I was lucky to like walk it in from Twin Lakes basically to get, or not Twin Lakes, but basically from like Outward Bound or whatever to get in under
Yeah.
30. So I had said, yeah, I want the big buckle. It was a goal, but I really wasn't applying myself at the time. As my training was going and other things in my life happened, like I'm in this new kind of season, this new chapter where I'm on my own. My kids are adults and they're out of the house. I'm on my own, so I could really just focus on myself. And so I was doing a lot of growth. I had been in a relationship for 3+ years that came to an end. And so it just gave me time to like reflect internally. I was kind of doing some shadow work and just like focusing inside, kind of like, so when I watched your episode about you, and I had even commented like, I can relate to some of that, maybe not to the extent, but like probably more so than I can relate to some of the things that you've gone through and we're talking about. But so doing that shadow work and that inner work and just like the physical part was taking place. I'd made the transition to where I was able to go out and run and I was feeling good and I was feeling better every day, but I still had like these negative thoughts about myself and this lack of confidence and like this just emotional in this good state, and running was helping me get back there. And then this work that I was doing, I was really sitting at home by myself at night, like in a dark room, just looking inside and like seeing the dark half of myself and like trying to come to terms with that.
I've been doing shadow work for the last 3 weeks,
Okay.
and
Wow. It's
the worst thing I've ever had to experience in my life.
so I didn't know anything about this. I just like all of this kind of, it's weird because 25 has been a huge year for me, not just physically, emotionally, mentally, like, and doing it, it's hard, but my God, it forges a way forward that when you get through that and to the other side, you can't explain it. It's almost like, I think you've done low carb before, right? So like, it's hard that you can't explain that to somebody who hasn't done it, or it's so hard to get through that transition. But when it happens and that switch flips, it's like it opens up a new world of endurance. And doing that shadow work opened up a new world of like self-confidence for me and emotional just maturity and just, I don't know, like I just was in this place. Go ahead.
Can we go a little bit into that? What was so like myself and my shadow work is the self-limiting beliefs. That's what I've been working on.
Yep. Yep.
What were you working on? What was your foundation for the shadow work?
So it was kind of like you're talking about the self-limiting beliefs and this not being good enough because I had been in a marriage for almost 30 years and that didn't work. Like that ended several years ago. And I dated a little bit in between that and the long-term relationship that I was in. But those were like one date, date for one time. I didn't work, I don't know, just not the right person. Don't want to continue, don't want to investigate this or look at it, like it just wasn't there. Got into that relationship I was talking about, but it was like an on again, off again for like 3 years. So,
I could see
I don't
where.
want to say anything bad about that person because I was insanely in love in that relationship, but it didn't work. Right.
It
And
was, yeah,
so
didn't mesh.
I had to look inside and see, like, was I capable of loving somebody? Was I capable of being loved? Um, it's a lot of just looking inside and wondering why I allowed myself to be in a relationship that wasn't mutual at all the times. Like again, it was on again, off again. It wasn't an alignment fully. I mean, there were things about it that were great that were aligned, but just in every aspect, there were things about it that just it didn't work. And finally we agreed, right? And that ended, and that was hard. I think we were both very much in love I thought I was going to be married again to this person. And we did so many things together. We did the rim to rim to rim together. We would travel. We went out to Washington together. We did, we would run and hike 14ers and just, I mean, we did a lot together. And that all of a sudden was no longer there. I was in this new season in this new phase. Like I said, my adult children, they're gone. I wasn't in a relationship, so I had this time to just work on myself and focus on myself and not worry about anything outside of that. The training was ramping up, and every day it was getting better. And so the combination of doing the work, losing the weight, running trails out at Deer Creek, like without having the intent of setting any kind of a segment PR, I'd get done with just a daily training run, and I was having segment PRs, you know what I mean? And I was like,
Yep.
man, so I'll be going to bed at night, like couldn't wait to get up and the next morning because I'd always get up and I'd weigh myself and I could see the weight like literally just dropping, go out for a run and feel amazing and feel better than I did the day before. And so now these self-limiting beliefs and man, I hope I can get sub 25 at Leadville I know I'm going to do it as long as I execute the plan. Like I am capable. I know I am. And like, I truly believe that. So these self-limiting beliefs that you talked about doing the chat, they was replaced with nothing but true confidence, not fake, like trying to talk myself into it. I just believed that I was going to do it. Barring any kind of a fall, injury or whatever, I was going to get sub 25.
One thing, I don't know if this was low carb, once you go low carb and you finally get fat adapted, that switch flips, right? Everything's good.
Yep.
I found with the shadow work, the same thing. Once you get to a point that light switch goes off, and if you go back, it's on you, right? You take ownership of it.
Yep.
So that's the hardest part with that is, so now you flip that switch and now you're on this other side and you're like, I have the belief I can do this. It's amazing. But then every time you get close to going back, you're like, all right, what are my tools to stay here? So I appreciate the talking about that with you because that's good stuff.
It is. And again, right, like just, I wish I had known about this and done this earlier in life. because you talked about my age. I'm at the time 53, but 54 now. And like, it's almost like I had this new found life, right? Like this confidence and this ability. And like, I don't feel 54, man. You know what I mean? Like, I
Your
just feel
times
like I
don't
have this
your
new
times don't
lease.
say you're like 54 either,
Yeah.
or
Well,
are
thanks.
54.
Yeah. I've got this new lease on life. And like, and also what I've really come to know and truly understand is that my time and energy is my most valuable currency. Right. So you talked, Justin, like that you stopped drinking, a year ago. This is your anniversary. And, Robbie, I watched your podcast. Like, I don't want to spend another day hungover. I don't know how much more time I have. I don't want, and for me, I can have 2 beers in the afternoon and I won't feel like crap the next day, but I'll feel it.
You feel
My sleep numbers will show. I'll feel like a little offline. I don't want to say I'm hungover. I'm a little tired or whatever. Like, I don't want to feel like that. Not that I don't want to sit here and claim that I don't drink. I do. But very limited, you know what I mean? And I'm able to do that. There was a time I wasn't though, where like if I had 1 or 2 drinks, I was like, it's all in now. And I don't ever want to cross that line again. I like the way I feel now. Like I was talking about, where I'd wake up with a smile and go for my training on. Like I missed this summer. I watched you guys talk about your training for the Cowboy 200. I think is that and Justin, I think you said something like you kind of got tired of training, or you were happy the training was over when the race came and whatnot. And like I was so into my training block this summer, man. Like I was living for it. It just because everything was getting better, like every day. I was borderline addicted to my training. I
Yeah.
didn't take many days off. I didn't, because I was seeing vast improvement on a daily basis, and I was all in, man. And it was a great summer. So,
So let's you had Leadville. Did you have a training race before Leadville?
I'm trying to think. I must have. I don't know. Do you have my ultra sign up there? I'm trying to remember if I ran something before Leadville this year.
Well, whatever in Mesa, the Saguaro Showdown, but that was in January.
Yeah. No, I guess not. Wow.
That's pretty badass.
Wow. I can't believe I don't remember if I did or not, though. I had to have done something.
That's
from
the
I was-
54 coming out.
Yeah. I do. So it's funny because I was like, once I really buckled down and then I was focusing, and like the goal is, instead of just saying, I want to do sub 25 at Leadville, really, like I started putting pressure on myself. Like I really wanted to do it. I didn't want to just say that, like, because I believed I could. And I had this newfound belief in myself and this confidence. And I put a lot of pressure on myself. So I was tunnel visioned, like everything I did, every time I ate, every time I drank, like when I say drank, I just mean fluids, not alcohol. Like every decision I made was with the forethought of Leadville race. So I was tunnel visioned on that. And I was stressed and nervous, man, come race day. And on the eve, like even my crew was like, dude, you gotta lighten up a little bit, man. Like, and I'm just like, I put so much pressure on myself for that.
I'd like to step back just a little bit and kind of talk about what you just said about how everything in your life was focused on that sub 25, like down to eating, down to, drinking your liquids or whatever, everything was focused on that. How did you maintain that mindset for, I don't know what your training block was, but let's call it 4 months, right? Like you had a big 4-month training block. How did you maintain that mindset with everything is focused towards this? And then in saying that, if the race would have gone differently, how would you have handled that mentally, knowing that you prepared all of this time and everything was put into focus? I'd like to talk about, like, I know it's two separate things here, and I know the race went well. I'm sure we'll get there, but like, how would you have handled it mentally if it hadn't?
Let me answer the first part briefly.
Sorry.
So no, that's fine, because I was doing the low carb and I was seeing the weight come off daily, that was a motivator that was just aligned and in parallel with my goals for Leadville. Then my runs every day, seeing improvement, like literally almost on a daily basis, and not having a bad day. It felt like, I'm sure I did, but like, I don't remember them. I don't recall like going for a run and being like, oh, that was not good. Like I had no runs that made me question my ability. So all these things that were just kind of lining up kept me motivated. I could physically see a difference in the mirror in the morning. Mentally and emotionally, I was feeling better each day. And I just was on this path that helped me stay focused toward Leadville. As far as had the race gone poorly, how I would have handled it, I don't know, and I'm glad I never had to find out because I would have been. I know I would have been thankful because the journey was amazing, and the journey is the destination, really, right? Like, so I would have been probably bummed, and I would have been depressed, and it would have sucked because I had never really. I don't remember a time in my life that I had put everything into something like I did for that. And what's amazing about that, though, is that if I truly believe this, if I can do that, anybody can, whatever the goal is, right? And it's pretty simple. I don't want to say it's easy. And actually, I say that all the time. Simple, not easy. Like the blueprint is simple.
Mhm.
Executing it is not necessarily easy, but it's not hard. I live a very simple life, man. Like I get up and I run in the morning, I go to work, I come home, I have dinner, I go for a walk, and then I wind down and I go to bed and I do it. Like I live this simple, boring life. But I also realize not everybody has that ability. I'm in this, like I said, this season and chapter of my life where I'm on my own. My kids are grown and out of the house, and I've got the time to do it. And that's the number one thing is I just put all that time into it. But
Yeah, I
yeah, I
appreciate
don't
that.
know.
I appreciate you saying that it's about the journey because you see so many people online, you know, social media being what social media is nowadays. It's like everybody is airing every single thing about their life out there, all of their training leading up to these races, shooting for X, Y, and Z. And then we can't control the uncontrollables. We have no idea what race day is going to give us.
Absolutely.
You know, like it could have rained the entire day at Leadville and then a snowstorm rolled in at Hope Pass. Like you don't know. That would have completely thrown your day off, right? And so
Now
like
you're talking run, rabbit, run. But
well,
anyway.
exactly. But like but you can't control the uncontrollables. And so like you just have to give the day with what it is. And so
Yep.
Yes.
and I
Yep.
think that's important to realize is, you know, like you train to run a sub 25, but you know, being thankful that you got a sub 30 buckle, you know, and finishing the race, you know, still, hey, I gave it my all in training. The day just wasn't there, you know, and I think
Absolutely.
I think it's important to realize that you still finish the race, you know, but
Even
know.
if you didn't finish the race, if you had the discipline and the consistency to put in the work, and if you see the results in that, like to your point, Justin, like anything can happen on race day, right? It's one day. It really is. And so I am extremely thankful that I had a good day and that it went well. Yeah, it would have crushed me a little bit, but I would have seen the big picture eventually just because of all the other work that I had been doing internally at that time as well. So I know a lot of people like they really do put everything into a race, and if it doesn't go well, they think it's a failure.
Yeah.
And
100%.
man, I've learned more from my failures in life than I have from any success. So
You learn more from the failures than you do just
absolutely.
the successes.
Yeah, without failure, you never learn. So
Yeah.
that's hard for people to understand and get, though, I guess, because, you know, these longer races, hundreds to now 300s, like you throw a lot of your time in there. And it is about the journey, right? Race day's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever,
Sure.
you know.
Yep.
But all that time leading up to it is what makes you who you are, and showing up on the starting line, you know, healthy and ready to go is the first goal. But a lot of athletes forget about that. They show up on the starting line, and there's a lot of other shit going through their head because they have this goal, you know, sub 24 or whatever it may be. And it's so easy, as we all know, 50 miles in, 20 miles in, whatever, for your mind to go to mush and hate yourself and ask yourself why you're doing this. Then you got to pull yourself out. And we all know when you pull yourself out, you might not be the same as you were that morning. So it's a game we play. So take us through the day of Leadville. How was it? Like perfect day? How was it?
I would say it was almost perfect. It was a really dang good day. It really was. You get up, it's a 4 a.m. start, so it's an early day. You get up. And I do want to say one thing. Leading up to the race, probably about 3 weeks out, working on my confidence, I had this other goal outside of the sub 25 that I didn't even tell my crew about until the finish, but I had it documented so I could show them like that I had made this other goal. And that was I wanted the podium for the age group 50 to 59. Like I wanted to come in top 3. Damn you, Cam Haynes. But anyway, I'll get to that here shortly too. But so yeah, it was a good day. Got out to the corral, whatever, and I'm talking to my crew, and we're sitting there and just kind of it was a mild day for the start of Leadville. I don't know if you've been up there for that. Usually it's kind of cold and like
Yeah.
people will dress a little bit too warm, the jackets and stuff. Like I stripped it already. Like I didn't need to have it on, so that was great. But I was telling my crew, we're sitting there talking, and We're like, all right, I said 24-24. That's the time. That was my prediction that we were going to come in 24-24 on the day. Didn't get a whole lot of sleep the night before, but I got a little bit, got over there. I felt good, had my breakfast, had some element before I started, was using Vespa. So I made sure I took some Vespa. Yep, the gun goes off. And man, I was like, I just felt light. Like I felt good early on. So that was good. But you're running downhill. You're running down the boulevard. I don't know how well, Justin, if you know the course or not, but
Not well.
It's downhill for the
it's
first,
it's
4
downhill, like
miles?
gradual. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
gradual down. It's easy to kind of go out a little bit too hot, I think. But you also you got to balance it, a thin line, because you want to get ahead of the accordion effect before you get on the single track going around Turquoise Lake.
Yeah, that's freaking
Yeah, so
nasty.
I managed to do that pretty well. And I think I got into a good spot as we hit the single track and came in to the first aid station at May Queen. And I can't remember the mileage. It's like 13 maybe or
13
something like
something,
that.
yeah. 13 something.
And I looked at my watch and I expected to be well ahead of my cutoff or our time. And I was actually a couple minutes behind it, which shocked me for how fast I had run down the boulevard. And then we were moving, like I wasn't really backed up on the single track going around Turquoise. I was shocked for a race that has 700 to 800 starters. I was kind of in my own little bubble early on, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I like when, I don't know how you guys feel when I'm running a race. I like to kind of be in my own little bubble or whatever, and I just be in my head. I don't have any distractions going on. I'm focused. Yeah, got into May Queen. I was feeling great. Refilled a handheld because I was wearing just a naked belt, and I had like a flask in the belt with some gels and a handheld. And off to May Queen I went. Off to Outward Bound. Left May Queen and ran out to Outward Bound. So before that, you have to climb up Sugarloaf Pass, I think it is. And I was monitoring my heart rate, but I was running up that. And I was just like, wow, I didn't expect to be running up Sugarloaf to get to the top of Powerline. And I think I walked maybe 10 steps of it. But other than that, up Hagerman Pass
Yeah.
or Hagerman Road and then Sugarloaf, I was running up it and then just cruised down Powerline. I was kind of by myself, which was surprising. Like I could see maybe 3 people ahead of me. Nobody was behind me. Like I was literally by myself going down Powerline. Got an Outward Bound, and that was the first time I was like, man, this race is really awesome, because that aid station was so electric, even early on. Like you can't really go to May Queen anymore. You have to shuttle out to Twin, so they've got like the 2 really big aid stations, which are Outward Bound and Twin Lakes. And
Yeah.
they are electric. So coming in
Yeah.
there, my son had come out to watch the first half of the race. Saw him. That was great. And saw my crew. We were in and out super quick, and off to Twin Lakes we went. And I was feeling good. Man, I just, I don't know, ran. I was going
That section
across.
from Outward Bound to Twins is pretty runnable the whole
It's
way.
very runnable. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It tends downhill for sure. And you do drop down in the Twin at the end. But so yeah, I was running across that field, and then I got on. There's a small section of road that you're on, and I looked, and like my watch beeped, and I was running like an 8-something mile, and I'm just like, this is not really smart. You know what I mean? But I felt good. Like my heart rate, like I kept checking my heart rate, and that's one thing I did do. I dropped it at Outward Bound, but I wore a heart rate strap to Outward Bound until I saw my crew for the first time, just to make sure
You were
that
kept it chill.
I didn't go out, and I don't trust if I really want to pay attention to my heart rate, I don't trust the optical heart rate
Yeah.
sensor. I wanted the strap. So I did have that on, and yeah, heart rate was good. Ran from Outward Bound to Twin, dropped in there. I was feeling great. And again, it's hard to not feel great at Twin Lakes Aid Station, because there are, my God, it feels like there's thousands of people there just cheering you on.
That
you
town's got to
hear-
like triple or quadruple in size during Leadville.
Absolutely. And I think they do the majority of their year business
During
and
Leadville.
economy is on
Yeah.
that race, right?
It's cool
So-
to watch on the live stream too. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never been out there, so it's cool to watch like the tunnel of people that you can run through. So
It's a cool place, man.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like, I would put that up there with Forest Hill at Western States for sure. Like you drop down and you can hear it for probably 2 miles out too. Like you can, which is good and bad, because you're like, it's so close, I can hear it. But it takes a while to get to it when you start hearing it. Got in there, saw my crew. I was in and out pretty quick. I dropped my belt there, and I put on a vest that we had pre-planned, so I didn't have to be there very long, because I just dropped the belt. The vest was already packed with everything I was going to need, and off I went. And when I was leaving, Cam Haines happened to be leaving at the same time. And so I chatted with him for a few minutes and he was asking me, so where are we going? What are we doing? And I kind of pointed out like Hope Pass. So I'm like, that's where we're going. And he had his film crew out there or whatever. So I'm sure he was kind of walking. And I was like, hey, good chatting with you. And off I went. And for whatever reason, I felt like I floated up the front side of Hope Pass. And I was passing people and I was just hiking, like I was hiking up it, but like, yeah, like my crew kept telling me every time I saw them, they're like, yeah, you like at May Queen, you were at 200 something place or whatever. And then you got into Outward Bound and you were already in like 100. And then coming into Twin Lakes, I was in close to the 50s or whatever. Like I was just passing people all day. And going up the front side of Hope was no different. Going down the back side of Hope into Winfield, I felt really good. Got into Winfield, and all I could think about, so that I had a drop bag there just with some gels to take and another Vespa to eat there or whatever. And I was in and out. And I just remember reminiscing from the last time I ran that race in 2014, which was my first 100-miler. I was like dying in there. Like I didn't even think I wanted to go back. And you were allowed to have crew back then out at Winfield, and so my crew was there, and I was just like, oh my God, like how in the hell am I ever going to get back up? You know, this time I came in, I had this mindset of compete, not complete. You know what I mean? So I was in and out of Winfield. By the time I saw Cam Haines again, I think I had put on a couple miles on him, for which I was shocked because we had left Twin the same time. And so getting from Twin Lakes into Winfield it's like, I'm going to round it, but it's like 10 miles. It's like 5 miles up, 5 miles down, turn around 5 miles up, 5 miles back down to get into Twin. Going up the backside of Hope, I thought I lost my race there, right? Like it was so hard. It was like, I felt like I had never done anything that hard in my life before. And I've trained going up Hope Pass. I've run out there. I've crewed and paced other people up over, like it was not new to me, and I just felt like I was going so slow. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to, I'm losing too much time. That's just how it felt. And it took like forever to get back to the top. Definitely the lowest part of my day at that point. But nobody passed me. Like I didn't get passed by anybody. I think maybe I passed 2 more people going up the backside. That I think some guy was keeled over puking, and another guy was like sitting where there was like a small stream, and he was getting water and just like trying to cool off and drink. Got up. It's kind of a blur, so I don't have a whole lot of memory there. I just got up.
It's probably good.
Yeah. And then cruised down into Twin again. So there's cell service at the top. So I told him, I'm like, all right, top 2. And then when I got down off and I was getting ready to go back to the stream crossing, I think actually it's once I crossed the stream there, I texted the crew again and said, I'm past the stream crossing. I'm just like a mile, if that, out. I don't even think it's a mile from there. And so I'm like, I'm coming in. And I think I said coming in hot or something like that. And I was feeling much better. I got into Twin. I changed my shoes, dry socks, dry shoes. I had another vest. So I just dropped the vest that I had and put on another vest. My son was still there, so I chatted with him for a little bit, and my crew was there. And that's when I picked up my pacer, and off we went. My goal on the day was to leave Twin Lakes in the light and start that climb, because you have a climb out of Twin Lakes. So I was like, I want to do that climb in the day. Or in the light.
It climbs a little nasty, rocky, and loose.
And for what you just did, right? Like if you were to start a run out of Twin Lakes and start your run, it's nothing. But after what you just did, it's real.
Yeah.
And I climbed out of there really good. And I think I made it all the way back to half pipe before I had to turn my headlamp on, which surprised me. Yeah, I was like, oh. But once I got through the climb and I felt good, and it flattens out, and now you should be running because you run the half pipe and half pipe, and I can't remember the unofficial aid station where everybody
the place you spelled to park,
tree line or something like that.
Maybe tree line. Yeah,
you should be able to run that, but I couldn't.
Flat.
Yeah, I couldn't run because my stomach was in knots. I could hike really well, but like every time I would start shuffling and try to run, my stomach just would really. And I remember getting into half pipe, and I was like, man, I'm going to try and use this porta potty rope just to see if I can do something and I couldn't. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I tried to even make myself throw up, and I couldn't. And so, but I was hiking really well. I want to say, I was like, if I can hike sub 15 minute, then I'm under my 25-minute pace or 25-hour pace. My pacer told me it was easier for him to keep up with me when I was running than when I was hiking, because I was like really stepping it out. I've got long legs. My pacer had these short legs, so he was like, he'd kind of fall back and he'd jog to catch up, and he'd kind of fall back, jog to catch up, and we hiked it into our hike ran because I think once we got to tree line, it trends a little bit more downhill again to get over
Yeah.
to outward bound. I think I
Mhm.
shuffled between hiking and shuffling, did that, picked up my new pacer, and then it was off to go up power line. And I felt so good going up that, man.
Okay.
I just, yeah, because I knew I was supposed to be hiking, right? And I was able to hike and just scooted up that thing pretty well. Got to between there and May Queen, that's when Cam passed me the first time. Cam passed me on the once you get to the top of power line, you got some single track. It's kind of technical. It's probably really the only technical spot other
Yeah.
than Hope. And I was taking that kind of easy and wasn't able to really navigate it as quickly and smoothly as I'd like. So I hiked a lot of that to get into May Queen inbound. Tried to get in and out of there, but for whatever reason, when I sat down just long enough to fuel well, I'm trying to remember. I think we did make that a little bit of a long. May Queen was actually quick. It was outward bound that was long. I took my time at May Queen. We wanted to be in and out, so I refueled real quick, dumped my trash, got new gels, and we left. I actually beat Cam out of the May Queen aid station, but I had something in my left calf. Like when I started walking, it wasn't anything that like I just all of a sudden my calf like seized up on me. And I told my pacer, I was like, oh, shit, like I feel like I pulled my like I don't know. It felt like it had seized up, and it's cold. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
I was trying to walk it out, and like it hurt, and I was like, this is kind of scary. And it did loosen up after about a mile of walking out of May Queen. But yeah, it was kind of uneventful. Just I remember as much as I tried to stay positive all day, I think I was kind of bitching to my pacer. I'm like, I don't remember all this because it felt like I was just going uphill the whole time from May Queen to the
Back.
finish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was
Yeah.
like, I'm like, this all you do is effing climb, right? Like when is it flat or whatever? And it doesn't really. I mean, it does trend up from May Queen back to the finish. You know, when
Yeah.
you're cool, when you're calm headed, you remember, yeah, you ran down the boulevard and you know you go around Twin Lakes, which is the coldest part of the course again. But got to just before the boulevard, and that's when Cam ran up behind, and he's like, "We got sub 24," and I was like, "You might, man, but I don't." Like, and I am so upset with myself because I didn't compete with him. You know what I mean? I didn't say, "Yeah, let's go for it," or anything. I was like, "I don't." You know what I mean? And so that was my biggest like disappointment of the race was like there was 3.5 miles to go maybe or whatever, and that's when Cam passed me, and he didn't get sub 24 either. He got 24:04. I shuffled up the boulevard like I would hike and shuffle, hike and shuffle. I got 24:11. So he beat me by 7 minutes. He was third AG. That's why I said, damn you, Cam, because I took fourth in the age group, and but I had a great day. I don't know where I could have done any better. So to answer your question, it was a great day. I mean, it was just shy of being perfect, right? It was everything I could have ever asked for. And like I said, I don't have to answer your question. I don't know how I would have handled it had it not. Thankfully, like I said, no, I mean, I am very grateful that I had a great day, and I would have appreciated the journey every bit the same had it not gone that.
Yeah, for sure.
So you finished up with Leadville, then I'm assuming you got into Run Rabbit Run.
Yep. So originally I was supposed to be pacing and crewing out at Run Rabbit Run. I want to say it was in June or July. I put my name on the wait list, and it was like 92nd or 96th. So I was like, I'll leave it up to fate as to whether or not I'll get in. And as a backstory, I've had 5 previous finishes and 7 starts at that race. So I have a long history at Run Rabbit Run. I freaking love that race. It's probably my favorite race. I love the course. I love the town. I love everything about it. So I was not sure if I'd get in. And then as the time leading up to Leadville was coming, I want to say like even in the weeks and then days, like moving up the wait list like real fast to the point like I was in single digits before Leadville. And I was worried, like I wanted to get through Leadville before I had to commit and say, yes, I'm in or not. Because in case I got hurt or like I didn't want to pay and all that stuff. And I was really worried, like, man, I might have to tell them yes and then hope Leadville goes well. No, so it was actually, I want to say probably the Monday after Leadville, I think I got the invite to
Holy cow.
come in off the wait list. And so I accepted it. And I was like, damn, I've never done 200 miles in the same year, let alone literally, I think it's like 2 days shy of a month apart.
Yeah, less than a month apart. Yeah.
yeah, got in off the wait list and I was stoked, man. I was like, but I had no pressure because I didn't really have a goal for it. You know what I mean? It just I wanted to see what was going to happen. I wanted to see how my body would respond. So I spent that month fully in recovery mode, really. I think I did my longest one was maybe 16 or 18 miles in between the two, but it was more just focused on recovery and movement, did a lot of walking and a lot of slow jogging. Went to Steamboat.
Well, so I started off, awesome year. So you got to tell us, cliff notes of how
I'll get,
Run Rabbit Run went.
well, we already got the weather forecast with the rain and snow.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So yeah, it was a weathery day, but no. So it's funny. I told you how my crew told me I needed to lighten up on the eve of Leadville. And we were in the condo in Steamboat the night before Run Rabbit Run, and mind you, a 9 a.m. start's a lot different than a 4 a.m. start.
Yeah, because I forgot the tortoise starts later, right?
Yeah. So we were, I don't know, I was just like punch drunk. Like I was so stress free. Like it was night and day. And my crew, my good friend Stan and his wife Melody, were like, Mike, you are just so relaxed, right? I was like, yeah, because I mean, I already met my goal. Like I'd put so much pressure on myself for Leadville. Like here, I'm just gonna come have fun. I love this race. I love everything about it. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, Robbie, you're right. I had a great day. I predicted 26:26. The previous year, I had finished in 28 and a half, something like that. Cliff Notes version, I had an amazing day. My son was out there and he paced me. I want to say this because this is a memory that I will cherish forever. My son, he's 32. He paced me from Olympian 1 around Emerald Mountain section of the course, back to Olympian, and then up to Dry Lake 2.
Okay, yeah.
It was pissing rain, like pouring rain the entire time, going up the lane of pain. It was so slick that we were taking steps and sliding backwards. I mean, it was just a shit show.
Oh man.
And somehow on a tougher course and a longer course, I finished I finished in 23:40 something,
Nice.
I want to say.
Nice.
It was cold. I remember being so cold that I couldn't open up my gels or my food. So I'd come into an aid station like, how can we help you? And I'm like, I just need some food because I haven't been able to eat anything. And so one thing I did do, I had those PF90s. I don't know if you know the precision fuel. They're coming like a nine. It's like, yeah, it's like a 3 gel in 1.
Yeah.
I had them like open those 3 of them for me so that I could easily open them because my hands were so cold. I even had hot hands, but I had lost the dexterity in my fingers because it was so like wet and cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a good day. I remember, I will say this, coming across, and Robbie, you know the course. So coming from Long Lake back to Werner on the way in, it was a slog. Like I had like it was, people were passing me, but I didn't realize most of them, which I should with my experience there, know that it's mostly hares that are passing me.
Yeah.
I felt like I'd lost time and I'd checked out a sub 24, but got to the top. And my pacer told me, he's like, well, you've got like 2 hours and 40 minutes to break 25. And I start jogging down. And I was like, wait a minute. In my head, I'm thinking, did he just say, again, I'm not saying any of this out loud, but I'm looking at my watch and I'm trying to do runner math. And I'm like, he said 2 hours and 40 minutes to get sub 25. It's a 10K down and it's all downhill on service road.
Downhill. Yeah.
It's steep in places when your quads are hurt and whatnot, but it's like, okay, 10K downhill. He said 2 hours and 40 minutes to get sub 25. Does that mean I have an hour and 40 minutes to get sub 24? And I'm looking and I'm shuffling and I'm like literally staring at my watch for 2 miles. I didn't look at the trail. I didn't say anything to my pacer. I'm like that's gotta be true. That's got to be. And so my buddy finally says, he's like, Mike, if you keep this up, you're going to get sub 24. And I was like, thank you. Like I was trying to solve this equation and I'm like the square root of pi and all this shit. I'm like, but I don't know if I can run 4 miles down. Like, I don't know if I have it in me to run 4 miles. Like I was in so much pain. But then what I had just told you guys, I went back to that moment when Cam passed me at Leadville. And I was like, I have this regret that I didn't even try. Like I didn't even try to compete in that moment. And that's where I let myself down. I was like, I am going to get sub 24, or I'm going to kill myself trying, right? Like it's in my grasp, right? Like this is not even like, it shouldn't even be that hard with 4 miles to go and the time I have. Like I was like, just run long enough to where you can walk it in if you have to. That's
Yeah.
my mindset. But I ran every step down. Yeah, I crossed in 24, whatever, 24:40 something, I think.
23.
For the tortoises,
Yeah.
for the tortoises, I was ninth out of whatever. So I finished top 10.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it was an even better day than Leadville.
That's awesome.
Since you've ran both those races, which one do you think's harder, Leadville or Run Rabbit? I
Man,
know there's conditions involved in there, but just say perfect days.
perfect days. I don't just say this, even though I had a better time there. I do think Run Rabbit Run is a harder race.
I agree. I've never ran it, but I've been there enough times, and
It's more
seen
technical.
what it is.
You don't get up to 12.6 or whatever. Like you don't have Hope Pass climb, but you've got climbs. You've got the initial climb out, which is a bitch. I mean, they start you off right at Run Rabbit Run. You're going straight up the mountain.
Yep.
And for part of it, you are literally going straight up the mountain. You're on the ski slope and you're going up it, and it's not even single track. It's kind of bushwhacking going up.
Yeah, just the grass.
It's not the whole way up. I mean, you are on service road, but you climb almost 5,000 feet out of the gate at that race.
Wow.
And then you've got to climb, like you don't go up Buffalo Pass Road anymore on the way back.
Oh, you don't?
No, you go up, it's called Grouse, and then it's Grouse and something else that you get, but it's a Black Diamond mountain bike trail. And so when you leave Dry Lake 1, it's an ass kicker of a climb. You have about a mile and a half flat, and then you have, I want to say, a 4-mile climb up to Billy's Rabbit Hole, and it's single track, it's technical, and it's a morale beater for sure.
I never wanted to run that race because going back up Buff Pass Road.
Well, no, so for every change that Leadville does, and they take flack for, it seems like every change that Run Rabbit Run goes through, it's had been for the better in my experience.
Good. Because what is that? It was a marathon, right? Going down Buff Pass Road and going back up.
Yep. So
Yeah, never.
I can't remember, but it was long.
Or was it 13 miles? Yeah, I think it was 13 miles each way. I could be
I
wrong.
can't remember.
But that road is horrible. That road is freaking horrible with the cars.
Yeah, you don't have any. There's
Good.
very little.
That's
you
good to
don't
hear.
have to run down the actual road either. Like back in the day, you had that 4 miles on the paved road to get to Olympian.
Yeah.
You don't do that anymore.
Wow.
I mean, they've made some changes to that course, and it's all been for the better.
I need to look at it now.
You should.
Yeah.
It's I can't recommend Run Rabbit Run enough. Like that is a race in Colorado. It's a real mountain race. You've got real weather. You've got real challenges, and I would say it's a more difficult course than Leadville. And not to take anything away from Leadville. Leadville was, because of their times, it's also like their cutoffs early. You have to be moving.
Yeah, you have to keep moving. So before we get into the quick questions, I mean, you've had these two awesome races, PR'd your 100-milers for this. What do you see your future? I mean, because I'm sure you're still riding this high. What's going to come up next, and is your outlook for next year?
Okay, so I'm already signed up for like 3 races next year. I'm doing the last 2 years. So Robbie had mentioned I had done the Saguaro Showdown. That's a backyard ultra. I heard you two guys talking that Robbie should do a backyard format. So if you want to come down to Arizona in January, Robbie, I'll have a tarp and a place for you to park your gear. We can run some loops.
That's Robbie's platform for sure.
I've never really applied myself at a backyard, so I've gone down there the last 2 years just to get away from winter for a little bit and
run some dirt.
And run some dry dirt trails. I want to see what I can do. So my mindset for that this year is to go and see how far I can go in a backyard format. So I'm going to do that. And then 2 months later, I'm signed up. It's the inaugural year for the Big Alta 100K in Marinwood, California. So right there in the San Francisco area. I think you run under the Golden Gate Bridge and you go up Mount Tam in this race. And I don't know too much about it. I've done a little research and the trails just look absolutely amazing. So I'm pretty stoked to go out there and do that. And then my Western States qualifier is going to be, I'm signed up at Desert Rats, which I guess UTMB has that now or whatever, but out in Fruta.
Fruta, yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to do that to get my Western States qualifier. But hopefully, so Leadville was always an intermediate goal, because the real goal is I want the sub 24 at Western States, and the pressure I put on myself at Leadville was I didn't know if that was really a feasible goal to have as sub 24 at the stage that I'm in life. But now I fully believe and know that I'm capable of it. And so I'm hoping that the lottery gods are on my side with my 64 tickets this year that I get in.
64.
64 is not what it used to be, though.
Oh,
Robbie.
hey. Well, Justin, what do you got? 8?
8.
We
Yeah.
do, for the last 3 years, we've done, this will be the 3rd year, isn't it? I'm lost. We do a live stream and we watch it. And
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's
Yep.
fun.
So I'm really hoping that I want to carry ride this wave, hopefully in the Western States this year. That would be every wish come true for me for sure.
Yeah.
I ran it back in 2018. It was a bad day, and I just want to go back, and as AJW says, that people come back and they can make it right, and that's what I hope I can do.
Did you finish in 2018?
I did finish. It's the only 100-mile that I've done where I came in. It was a hot year. I want to say it was over 100 and whatever in the canyons. I climbed up. I can't remember if it's Devil's Thumb or whatever. I came into Michigan Bluff, and I was as white as a ghost. But I think I looked at my wife at the time and said, "I don't think I can do this." I didn't think. Yeah, that's the lowest I've ever been in a race was at Michigan Bluff at Western States. That's like mile 55, I think. I had gotten, I trained, but I got in off the wait list literally the week before. Sorry.
Oh, good.
Got in off the wait list the week before. I was already out there. I was going to be crewing and pacing a friend. And so got in off the wait list. And basically my wife at the time and her dad flew out on short notice to be my crew or whatever. I was thankful the whole time, but yeah, I finished, but it was hard. It was probably the hardest race I did.
Would you say
All
that
right.
now, being that you've run, Run Rabbit, Leadville, all this stuff, that Western was still the hardest race?
But, well, for me at that time, like I don't know if the race is the hardest, but that was the lowest I've ever experienced in a race, and it was the hardest to get to the finish line. For sure.
Well, don't run it the year that I run it, because it's going to be 150 degrees the year that I run it.
Is it?
I bring heat wherever I go.
You're up in Alaska, right?
Yeah, and I bring heat wherever I go.
He brings the heat.
Bringing the heat.
Doesn't matter what season it is or not.
Nope, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm bringing it.
That's awesome.
He did when he did Bighorn. What was it?
It was over 100 both days.
Bighorn.
Geez, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You've done Bighorn, and so the
Here, I paced a buddy, and it was like 60 was the highs, and I was like, this is unfair.
So, yeah, I did that in 15, I think, and it was not a hot year, but it was kind of hot, at least in the finish, just the last however many miles in that canyon, running along
that's
the river.
horrible.
I was out there pacing a buddy of mine who had heat exhaustion, or so not heat stroke, but he got pulled. I had to actually wave down somebody on a four-wheeler or whatever, little quad runner, and drove us to Dry Fork, I think, and got him some IV and all that, because it was one of those hot days. So yeah, it can get hot there. It's crazy.
Yes, it can.
All right, you ready for these quick fire questions?
God, I hope I don't fail.
You won't. They're easy. There's just, so the listeners, Justin and I are gear geeks. I'm sure you probably are too, but
I'm a gear geek. Yeah.
Okay. So you go to shoe brand.
So I have a habit, a bad habit. I buy all the shoes. And unfortunately none of them were given to me for free, but on race day, like, I don't know why I buy shoes, to be honest, and I tell this to my running buddies all the time, like the Salomon S-Lab Genesis is the shoe that I will race in. For me, it's like that shoe is made for my foot. I don't get blisters. I don't get hot spots. It's comfortable. It's stable. So yeah, the Salomon S-Lab Genesis.
That's race day shoe. Let's go with that training shoe.
Name
all over the place.
Name it. I'm wearing it, although not ultra anymore. Yeah, I like the Speedlands, actually. Like, I'm running a lot just because I have mixed gravel and road. I'm running in the H1 from Mount to Coast right now a lot on my daily trainer.
We'll stop there, because that's Justin and I's favorite shoe right now.
Okay, nice.
That shoe is, I've been a Hoka fan for over 10 years and finally had to switch because a lot of reasons, but
yeah,
Justin talked me into the Mount to Coast, and I'm a believer.
Yeah, the H1's a good shoe. I like it.
That is a fantastic shoe.
I actually did some scrambling in it today, and it did great. I was surprised. I was sticking to the rocks. I was
nice.
I was really surprised. All right. You kind of mentioned it, but we're going to go a little deeper. Your go-to nutrition. I know you said Vespa and Precision
Yeah.
being low
So
carb.
yeah, and so I'm metabolically flexible, fortunately. So I train leading up to a races. I train with some more carbohydrate. I just don't take as much as like the high carb
High
folks out
carbs.
there saying,
Yeah.
so
80
but
grams an hour.
gels, I'll slow drip on the precision fuel, and then also like beta fuel gels.
Yeah.
Those go down pretty easy. And then real food. I like sushi if I can have that at an aid station. I'll eat some sushi, just like salmon rolls or tuna rolls, and then chips sometimes just to help with salt. I'll usually have a bottle of Element at an aid station so I can get in some electrolytes and salts, just because I do have an issue with cramping, and so I like to more salt. But yeah, just I would just say the beta fuels and the precision fuel for the sugary stuff.
You mentioned your vest a couple times. What's your go-to running vest?
God, nomenclature. It's the Solomon Advanced Skin
Oh.
Ultra
12.
something like that. Sure. 10,
The
12.
big one?
Well, I don't know. It's this thing right here. Sense Pro 6
Oh, is it
training
Sense
or
Pro?
whatever.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, the S-Lab, whatever, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
the 12 for
Solomon.
like up
We'll
over
just go
Hope
with
Pass
Solomon.
and stuff. Yeah.
We'll go with Solomon. All right, we're going to do some couple fun ones.
Okay.
If there was a pail of grapes and you got paid $5,000 each grape, there's 100 grapes in there, but one of them is poisonous. It'll kill you. How many grapes are you going to eat?
0. I don't know how much time I have left on this earth, and I'm not gambling it, man.
I like that answer. I like that. I was just like, 100.
I don't have a lot
99,
of luck,
hopefully.
man. Yeah.
99, hopefully.
I don't have a lot of luck, so I'm just going to go with 0.
All right. If you could be any dinosaur, what dinosaur would you be?
Tyrannosaurus Rex. And why? I don't know why. That's the first one that came to my mind.
I don't think we've had that one yet, have we?
I don't think so. Most people do
No.
the flying ones.
Yeah, pterodactyl.
Uh-huh.
And the brontosaurus. A lot of people picked the brontosaurus.
Okay.
All right, Mike. Well, it was awesome to have you on here and listen to your story. I can relate
Thanks, yeah.
a lot with it. We'll give you a few minutes to shout out whoever you want to shout out, or you got social media where people can follow you or anything like that. And floor is
Yeah,
yours.
I'm not super big on social media, but like I said, I live a simple life, and my Instagram is Wilk Runs, so it's pretty simple handle. Yeah, shout out, like I said, shout out to my son for one, man. That him pacing me at Run Rabbit Run was amazing, and then Stan and his wife Melody are very good friends that sacrifice so much of their time to support me and crew me and pace me at runs, and without the two of them, I know fully that I don't make the finish line without them. And then Nick, who was also a pacer for me at Leadville this year, he was huge, keeping me positive when I was at a little bit of a low spot with my stomach at Leadville, and kept me moving forward at a quick clip. So without those people and their support, and then of course friends and family, right? My buddies that train with me, it's a team effort, man. So it's my name was on those races, and I had great races, but without them, it didn't happen. So I'm very thankful for all those guys. And I'm thankful, hey, Robbie, like when you reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to come on here, man, that was a huge surprise. I appreciate it. I can't believe it's been over an hour. This time has flown for me.
Yeah. It's been good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on and telling your story. You inspired me this year just by watching. We've known each other for a while, but just to see where you're at in life and kind of what you've gone through. And it's like, man, this guy just, I don't want to say pulled it out of your ass, but you changed your mindset and dug pretty deep, and it showed what you did and where you're at. And I just think it's awesome. And it's like this, I got to hear it firsthand for myself. Cause
I really
I got some,
appreciate that.
I got some inspiration already just, sitting here talking with you. So hopefully not hopefully, next year, my year is going to be a good year. So
Next
I gotta
year's
make
I
Robbie's
like it.
year.
I love it. Real quick, let me just respond to that. The fact that I inspired you or anybody, one, surprises me, but that's really what it's about. And I would say, like, man, I will say this, if you go on my Instagram, this isn't really a plug, but I have a post on there that I pinned that just kind of shows the before and after from the physical standpoint of what this low carb journey, but more so even was the shadow work that we spoke on briefly, like what, and just changing my mindset and those self-limiting beliefs and getting positive of what you're capable of. Like, it sounds cliche, but if I can do it, anybody can do this, man. I'm 54 years old. I know I get circumstances are different. I am by myself right now, and I have the time, and that's a big limiting factor for a lot of people that are raising families. I totally understand how to work. I mean, I have a career, but mine's flexible. I like everything just lined up for me, and I said I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'm going to focus on myself for this year, not in a selfish way, but kind of. I wasn't worried about outside interruptions or things like that. I was anything that I was doing was going to be in alignment of my principles and the things that I valued and the goals that I had set for myself this year.
Well, you deserve it. You deserve all that.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Justin, you want to take us out of here?
I'll take us out. I'll take us out. Well, if you like Mike's podcast, you can find us on all platforms. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple and some of the random ones. Please like, subscribe, leave us a comment on some of the videos on Instagram. And as always, we'll see you on the trails.